Hello YouTube and welcome back to the Nitro Addiction. How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a great day. And I know it sounds like I'm all messed up. It's either allergies or I'm catching something, whatever, I don't know. But the show must go on because this has to be built for this next weekend coming up. What's up, John D? What's going on, brother? Big Boys Toys, how you doing, my friend? So yes, I got me a brand new kit. Now, did I have to sell one of the coolest savages ever? Yes, I did. But we made it happen. Got a couple other cool things coming. So this would be the first one because I was able to go pick it up at the local hobby store. They had one, and I took it. I mean, I gave them money for it, but I took it. Let me finish getting my computer set up, and we will get on with the show. Come on, stupid computer. Anywho's. Alright. Let's see. So. I'll get the second cooler one. I know somebody that's looking for that too, in case you're interested in getting rid of it. What's going on, Nitro Pimp? How you doing, brother? Save it to 10% with USAA. So as you guys know, I think it was last week at some point, Nitro Pimp made me an offer. Wasn't really looking to sell, but I kept thinking about this and I could really use this. I wasn't ever going to open the other one, so I'll let somebody have it that wants to have a good time with it. What's going on, off the guy? What's up? Zoloft is working, says Big Boys Toys. Hell yeah. No, it's a good spot. I figured you'd say that. But so yeah, we made the deal. By the way, that thing is expensive to ship. And it is on the way. I sent you a copy of that receipt there, brother. But yeah, we got a couple other goodies coming. Hopefully one of them is here. Said it'd be here tomorrow, but I doubt it'll probably be Wednesday. We may do a live Wednesday because we're going to continue building this, whether we're on camera or not. It's got to get built for this weekend. This coming up weekend, you guys mark your calendars, keep the YouTube rolling. It is the U.S. Open. The pros are going to be here. Does it make me nervous? Yes. Don't expect me to place very high because they have Nitro Pro, or not Nitro, I mean, they're running Pro class. They're running Sportsman, which all the fast guys at our track that compete in like Open and Intermediate, if they ain't running Pro, they're running Sportsman. So I'm hoping to maybe make the C-Main. You know, it's kind of one of those hope and pray things. We'll see. It's a total new layout. Just as soon as I got good at the other track, they went and changed it up, which is a good thing. But the layout is sick. I seen it on Facebook. I'm really excited for it. But Friday practice, Saturday 3 qualifying, and Sunday mains. The only confirmation that I truly have of people that are going to be there was Ryan Mayfield, Ryan Lutz. I'm pretty sure Dakota Finn. And then there's another local pro that just won pretty big down at the Fall Bras. Caden Line, I think is his name. Or Caden Lime. I think it's something. I don't know. I'm bad with names. But yeah, there's going to be some cool shit going on. John Bishop, what's up? Okay, let's go with the fire. Hell yeah. Looks like Lotus is in the house. There he is. Not open it right away. Me think CRT5 first. Hell yeah, just make sure that you give us a little bit of notice. Make sure I catch it, because sometimes I clear stuff off my phone and I don't get a chance to, don't always get that chance to watch. So make sure you give me a heads up. Yeah, you guys wanted to see that 21 Open? You'll probably get to see it now. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But it was really cool having it. I'm glad it's going to a good home. Just nothing but scale sports over here. Hell yeah. 2017 HPI 5B. Hell yeah. Is there anybody I'm missing here? You know, it's too short. Hell yes, I can do that. What engine am I gonna run? Probably gonna put the block engine in it. Hybrid, what's up, my dude? I have a block in the other Truggy. That's really, I only have the two engines that I feel are good and worthy for the track out of what I carry. So I'm just gonna swap it over to here. A little backstory on the Mugen from the weekend. The first qualifier did pretty good. Found out that truck's made of some mixture of different models, and the way the back end of it lines up, I couldn't get my camber in like this, so I was running with it like this because the arms are too short for the drive shafts that are in it. So had a few issues keeping it on the track, but we did all right. But anyways, in the second qualifying, I hit one of the spikes and ripped off the front arm and the shock eyelet. Luckily, my good pal Tony, that I always hang out with at the track, and he's been in here a couple times. He's got every part that there is for keeping that thing running all day long. So we got me fixed up and ready for the main. So I won the main on the rookie. Since I hadn't really raced the Truggy, I figured I would just start out with rookie. And then in buggy we did open, and out of I think there was like 13 or so to start with, and then there was 12 of us in the main, and I started 10th and I got 6th. So luckily some people broke down, and some other people just couldn't keep it on the track, and we were able to. So, and we got a kit. Yep, we're getting ready to unbox it, but first I want to show you guys something. So there's a guy on eBay, and of course I didn't write down his eBay name. So this is all 3D printed, everything, of course, except for the screws. But he has multiple colors. You tell him what you want, and he will send it, or you'll get something random, whether it's solid or mix or whatever. But I saw that he had both of these colors, and I told him I wanted a black base and green tops, and I got what I asked for. So for those of you that have never seen tire gluing jigs, that is really all that this is. Now you have an edge, you run your bead of glue, and it's really fast. And if you've never used these, get you some. Holy shit, is it easy to glue up some tires using this and those. It is fast. I'll never hand glue tires again. So, been waiting on these things for a minute. Took them a little bit to, I guess, I don't know if he prints them out when you order or what, but it took a few days for him to start the order, and then a few days for him to get here. But yeah, so these are the J Concepts Reflex. These are the Aqua 2, so long wear soft, or even like a medium soft as they call it. But, and of course this one's for buggy. I glued up my buggy tires for this last weekend's race. Works great. So if you guys are interested, I'll try to remember for maybe the next live or something. God, I can't think of his name. And I don't have the, you know what? I do have the package. Hold on a sec. His name's Ivis. It's Ivis something on eBay. So I'll have to get you information if anybody's interested. But anyways, get you some tire glue and jigs. There's a lot of different versions. These were like, it was 20 and 30. So pretty slick. All right, I'm just as excited as you guys are. And I wanted to leave this as is. I have still got the factory seals. I haven't done anything to it. Just because I wanted to do it with you guys. Here's my razor blade. There it is. This is one factory seal that I can cut. Gotta do the outside portion as well. This just tells you on the back the tools that are needed and things you gotta get for yourself. And of course, this is just the platform. But I'm not gonna read all this. There's other videos. We don't want to spend too much on the live going through it all. But a lot of upgrades from the 2.0 to the 2.2. And I love these. The graphics on here. Fuel tank, bag Q. You know, and they say that these are like the easiest instructions to follow. And I've done a lot of, you know, keep following the book to tear things apart, put them back together. I've seen a lot of different brands. Even just having these, like I have a book and I have it on my phone. These always really do seem to be really easy to follow. Good details. They even have like some of the like the screws or the parts, like they're the correct dimensions in the books. You can line things up, you know, like real time. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. There's the front nose piece. This has got quite a few of the parts in it. You can see dog bones, gears, cups, planet gears, ball ends, screws, plastic, more plastic, some arms. Well, you know, it's kind of like, I've done some Lego stuff as well. So, and the wife, she still loves putting together Legos. I'd rather put these together, but this is a lot like doing Legos, where you just go through page by page, bag by bag, except a lot of this stuff you got to screw together instead of snapping together. Here's all the wing stuff. Everything's clearly marked as to what bag you're going to. And they say these bodies are pretty confrontational. I don't know why. I think they're pretty slick. I mean, you're running a truck, right? It kind of reminds me of those big super cabs, or like the XF650 or whatever, those big ass trucks. So I think they're kind of cool. Some people like, some people don't. And then here is, we got pink springs. I was looking to see if we could see the other ones, see if they were pink as well. Air filter, a lot of the hardware, shock stuff. Looks like a lot of the small things are in here. Oh, nice. Nice. I wasn't for sure if it was going to come with aluminum steering horn. I wish it'd come with the throttle as well, but that's all right, because I I've ordered both of those. Oh, man, that is pretty. Yeah, I've been waiting for this forever. So excited. And then building instructions. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way that I know we don't need right away. Alright, I'll have to rearrange a little bit here so there's room for me to sit down. Now, like I said, I got to get this ready for this weekend, so whether you guys are here, we're going to be working on this. So, thanks for joining in. Hope you guys enjoy. We'll try not to make it too boring. I don't know how many people actually do kit builds on their live, but we're going to build as much of it as we can, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Let's see the comments here. Oh, let's see. CBH, what's up? Just practicing, no racing. A bigger tank will be welcome. My 2.0 buggy. If I've missed anybody, I do apologize. I'm trying to get through some comments. Those jigs for buggies and truggies. Yeah, but the hoodies are nice. It was hard to find, just looking on eBay anyways, but fresh new kit unboxing commenced. Yes, sir. But no, I watched a video on it, and yeah, they're not cheap at all. If you guys didn't see, you can look it up. It's no secret. I couldn't find anything cheaper, so I paid MSRP for it. It was $730, which is why we are just now at 46 years old, finally getting a brand new fresh kit. In case anybody was wondering, ooh, look at there, fancy. I like it. Window masking stickers, so I'm thinking if I can make it fit that I'm going to use that other body that we just painted recently. But I might just do a quick basic white paint job on this just for this race, and then we'll order another one and do some kind of fancy whatchamacallit. But anyways, I'm going to try and keep things in frame. If I get out of frame, I do apologize. So look at there, right out the gate, bag A. And I found bag A. So we'll get the rest of that out of the way. Man, this is just like doing Legos. Which, if you guys haven't done Legos, holy crap, is that fun. I love putting Legos together. But I love putting RCs together even more. So now I'm gonna go straight up box stock out of this. So you guys will, if anybody catches the actual race, or we just talk about it after the fact, whatever, you guys are gonna see what this will do box stock with an amateur first year 6-month driver at the track against the fast guys. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for, is to get all this ready, and then we can see. I know it's just because you buy an expensive kit and it's the newest, latest, greatest, you're not going to be the world's fastest. But at the same time, we are getting better. We are pretty decent. Which, by the way, I've had a lot of people at the track that hadn't really talked too much, and ones that I have talked to a lot, coming up telling me how much better I'm doing. So it's a really good feeling when the people are telling you how good that they think you're doing. It's awesome, it's like you're putting in the effort and it's not all for nothing. So we got 10K, Can you guys even see? Yeah, barely. 10K, 5K, 650 shock, and 550 shock. Do I need to zoom in or anything? Are you guys good? If you want me to zoom in, let me know. Yeah, if you guys are talking about speed on stuff like this, these are not meant for as fast as you can go speed. These are meant for, short straightaways, lots of turns, bumps. They're just meant to handle the rough off-road track and get through it as quickly as possible, but you're not going to get top speed out of these. Maybe 35, 40, I don't even know if it listed on here. You can always change the gearing and try to make it faster, but is it necessarily worth it? I don't know. Now, the one thing I wish I had in here was my pit mat, because it is pretty cool. But what we will do, try and keep the book here so you guys can see the book and build things within frame. Like I said, if you can't see something or well enough, let me know. This isn't the easiest thing to do with the camera in the way, but try to make sure. There's Satan's Rage again. What's up? If I've missed you, I do apologize. Just keep making comments in there, and as soon as I see your name, I will say what's up. Man, we're gonna have so many bags. This is gonna be ridiculous. So we got the gasket, the rubber rings, the little, whatever you call these shims that go behind the small gears. And then we've got the planet gears. We've got the drive cups, bearings, and then the bigger washer. So I'm just going to lay all this out. And this is the center diff. And this one is going to call for the 10,000 weight. Yeah, so this is calling for 10,000 weight in the center diff. So this stock setup's going to be a little bit different than how I've been running my oils. Been running my setup. But we're going to keep it as close as possible and see how it looks. Because I've been watching a lot of videos on racing and kits, and they say that these are some of like the best out of the box kits. Box stock form. So what do we got here? Okay, so it shows an exploded view of all the pieces. And then step 1, apply grease to the recess inside the O-ring seated as well as the O-ring itself. Well, all they gave me was black grease, so are they talking about black grease? I think so. Grease is usually used on areas included with the kit. Well, it just says grease. They're not telling me to use the oil, so we will use the grease that they provided. Now, granted, when I do rebuild this, I may use this stuff until it's out, but I'll probably end up, going back to my old stuff. Okay, so, try and do it in the right steps. So there's the cup. I don't know, maybe that wasn't any better. Like I said, if you guys want me to zoom in or change or whatever, let me know. There's Mama, what's up? Rinks is in the house. What up, nerds? King Nerd is here. You guys talking about racing? Anyways, you guys are talking about straight line racing. I'm gonna build a track runner. All racing's fun. Just whatever floats your boat. But I really love racing on these outdoor dirt tracks. They are lots of fun. Let's put a little bit of grease on the O-ring. So I'm just gonna put a little dabby dab on there. And we're gonna drop her in. I like when the white grease for the dish simply because of darkness. Yeah, no, I get you. Well, like I said, I'm just going to do this completely stock. But yeah, I normally, like if you guys been watching, you guys have all seen when I rebuild diffs, this is what I use on that groove. But I'm just gonna go with the stock just because they give it to us. I'm gonna use it. But yeah, I get that. It will be cleaner to use the white over the black for sure. And we're gonna drop a pin. So nice to be able to build something like this without having to clean up all the crap that the previous owner sent with it. Now there are a few differences between this and the 2.0. One would be that it went from, it was like the older ones had universal drive shafts, dog bones, and then the 2.0 went to the CVDs, and then this has gone back to the universal. It's more tunable with like lowering the bulkhead and options of lowering your ride height. And then of course the shock towers without having like the brace across the top. A few different minor details. A little bit of the geometry's changed, but for the most part, they're both really good trucks. To have either one of them is a blessing in the world of racing. Oh no. And as soon as we put, oh damn it. It's like I keep trying to slide it into position. You know, one thing that would solve that is putting a little bit of grease on there, and it'll help it stick. There we go. Let's see, 10K to the center. I think it's going to be 10 in the front, 10 in the center, 5 in the rear. Is how I think they lay this out. If I remember correctly, I think in the Mugen we did, what was it, like 15, 10, 7 or something like that? I think. Of course, we need just a little bit more. It says to do like 1 millimeter down, but I'm not going to measure it and make sure. I just like for it to be full once that last gear's in place. Because if you're 1 millimeter shy, once you put this big gear on top of it, it's basically gonna bring the fluids up to the top. There we go. So now we'll go with the bearing. Go with a little bit of grease. Or a lot of bit of grease. That's right. The excess we're going to put on this guy. That's why I usually use the needle nose. I'm just gonna put a little bit of grease on here to help this stick so it doesn't fall off as I try to put it on. For whatever reason, it's usually a pain in the butt getting these holes to line up. And be careful you don't rip it, but you can shift it like that. Just gotta be gentle. And the pin's gonna wanna fall out of there unless you kind of pull back on the cup, make it tight. And then, just for ease of alignment, I always square up the notch with the holes. You know the pin's in the right spot. You know the screw holes are in the right spot, and you can see daylight through them. Trying to get these started so they sit still while I don't know. Because being that everything's brand new, there's like no holes cut into this plastic, or no threads. So everything's really tight. That's another thing that I haven't experienced with a kid is, everything you try to thread into, you're creating the threads. So it's gonna be a little bit tight. Make sure we got them straight in and a good start. And then we're going to get out the overpowered impact. I can feel the tightness. Make sure it's aligned properly. Sometimes you get it screwed down and didn't realize that something was out of place, and then it won't turn, so you got to peel it back apart and reset it. So nice, everything coming out of the package is brand new. Don't have to dig for a new screw or make a list of screws I gotta go pick up or cleaning crap off of it, whatever. Like, this is way better than rebuilding somebody else's stuff. Boom. Center diff is done. Cyclone, what's up, my brother? Speaking of tight threads, here's a tip. Who's got a tip for us, Boost? Oh, Bob's RC, what's up, my brother? For your brake linkage, chuck the thread of the links and a drill. Oh yeah, I've seen that in the video too. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that without. See, I told you so. I'm gonna have to make sure I don't strip those threads, putting them in the chuck. But yeah, thanks for the tip. Hell yeah, guys. Appreciate you on the likes. If you forgot to hit that like button you're enjoying, help us out. All right. So that is everything. But yeah, the layout of these directions, if you haven't ever looked in one of these books, I mean, a little bit of color to it. Tells you which weight to use. Right there. Gives you all the pieces, tells you where to put the grease. Do not use the shims. Option B, shims shown in black for clarity. What's option B? I don't think I have an option B. I'm using the stock one, so I'm assuming these are getting the shims. So I didn't even read that note. All these little notes help. Yeah, I'm assuming that's either like the titanium or I don't know, because there's like a little gold set of these. I don't know all the different pieces. I did not look them up. Front and rear differential, so same process. Greasing, fill it up. Let's see, repeat for rear diff. Apply grease, blah, blah, blah. So in the front, yeah, like I was saying a minute ago, in the front, 10K, in the back, 5K. It's weird on the camera, it's like, you try to get up close when it's zoomed all the way out, and it doesn't pick it up real well. But if you zoom in a little bit, it's a little easier to see. So if there's something you guys can't read, let me know and I'll fix it. John Smith, what's up? Oh shit, you're doing a kit finally. Yeah, one that I don't have to clean up. Instruction manual is scratch and sniff, try it. Put it at the bottom of the pool and see how long it takes you to figure out what the scent is, Rinks. All right. So no, those are going to be bag B. So apparently, bag B has everything in it for both. They sure don't fill up the big bags in order. I had to dig down for it. Yeah, for those of you that didn't catch the beginning of this or me saying it, this is a lot like building Legos. And building Legos is a blast. But this is way funner because of the end result. Okay, so we're going to do these at the same time, but yet separately. Got to make sure that I keep things separated for the oil that we put in. So probably going to be hard to read black on black, but on this one, I'm going to put a 10. And on this one, it's a 5. I'm going to put a 5. That way I always know what I have in there, even when I take it apart later on, in case I were to forget. And they do have a setup sheet in the back. You can always write stuff down. I'm not very good at taking notes or writing things down. I do it so much I remember what I'm doing and where I was at, unless I take a long break. So anyways, so they got all these, like everything bagged up together. We just need to make sure that we keep everything separated once we get ready to do the oil. This is, so far, a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys are getting to experience this with me. It's boring doing this stuff by yourself. Yeah, like I said earlier, apparently they're going to run, basically all they're going to have is a pro class and and the sportsman and then rookie. So I got to figure if I want to run one of them in rookie and then the other one in its own class in sportsman, or if I want to do both sportsmen and just see what I can do with the fast people. I think that's how I'm going to go. There's a lot of people that are going to be in rookie that I already know I can beat. And I don't need another rookie trophy. I need to try and make myself faster, and the only way to do that is to run against the fast people. So I think we're going to do both of them in sportsman and just see what we can do. But the main thing is I got to get this thing finished before I got to be done by Thursday night, because Friday I'm going to do a half day of work on Friday, and then I am going straight to the track. So I'll miss out on quite a bit of practice, because I won't get there till probably noonish, between noon and noon 30 is what I'm thinking. This mess of bags out of the way. All right, so we're going to start on this side. So we need a bearing, and we need some grease. A little bit of grease on the O-ring. And it's funny, Peyton, a lot of you guys know him. He's a racer. He's always in all the different chats. He's been in here a couple times. I sent him a message today with a picture of this box, and he sent me back the same picture. He's like, yeah, I'm building mine tonight, too. So I don't know if he's going to make it in or not, but I thought it was pretty cool. He is the one that is running the MP11. He's had a couple breaks, but I'm assuming he's going with the Techno Truggy because Kyosho doesn't have an MP11 Truggy out. My assumption. But yeah, he had some issue with his car a few weeks back, and he borrowed one of the guys' Techno, and I don't know if he fell in love with it or what exactly. But welcome to the Techno family. Come on, get in the hole. Yeah, he said he might pop in for a second, so hopefully he makes it in. Hopefully Tony gets a chance to stop by. Kyosho number 1, trader. Jared Stone RC, what's up? Actually rebuilding my shocks right now. Hell yeah. We're all working together. Okay, this is... Got it on this side. So this one will be the 5K. I forgot to do it on the last one, but I like to put a little bit of the oil down in there to start with. And we'll start dropping in the planet gears. If I'm not mistaken, the little guys are the planet gears, and then the big one's the sun gear. If I'm wrong, oh well. It happens. I know some cars have it, some don't, but I love how Techno puts that little square edge. So it only goes one of two ways, either notch down or notch up. Which makes it easier to line it up. 5K. And a little bit just to top it off here. Now, there was another guy at the track that also had the MP11. He really liked it. It was a good-looking car. I don't have anything against him. I was already a Techno fan, and when it comes to durability, I haven't seen anything stronger than a Techno. And don't even try to say a Team Associated, because I know that's bullshit. Come on, where's the hole? I know you're right there. What in the world is going on here? She's a little tight. Does it say anything about these being coned? What is your problem? Oh, duh. You can't put two of them in there, stupid. Again, we'll put a little bit of the silicone on here just to help hold it in place so it doesn't fall off as we're trying to drop it in. Pins lined up with the groove. Damn, is that far off? Yep. Had to give it a little spin to get it to the actual threads. Am I in the right spot here? Yeah. See, again, being that it's brand new, plastic does not want to allow the threads to start very easy. I won that battle. There's your problem. Get in your hole. All right, two down. Oh man, I see that big gear sitting over there. I was like, did I not put the gears in? I mean, it is only 5K, that's why it feels so light. Start spinning it, and it feels really light, and I'm like, man, what did I forget? That's why I made two separate piles so I could see and then start grabbing parts from this pile. So everything should be in there. What's up, Raw? Look at you helping a brother out. Thank you, my friend. That was a badass run of that MGT, man. That big red really, really does that truck good, man. Sounded amazing. So thank you very much. After all the money I just spent, I could use all the help that I can get. Help us out towards race day. See, that's what I was talking about. You don't get something lined up right and you get all the screws in and it doesn't want to turn. Well, at least the second time it'll be a little easier getting them in there. Why? There's no reason. And it's not like you can stop it from spinning by getting these too tight. It's meant to be tight. $15, 15, 7 or 12, 5, 12, 5, and 7 is what I run. Still saving up for Nitro Truggy. Hell yeah. Yeah, I ran 15, 10, 7 in the Mugen, and I may switch this, we're going to try it Friday at practice, and if it's just, not working out, I will come home and I will stiffen up the oils for sure. But we're going to see how it runs, literally box stock, the way they tell us to set it up. Because I hear how good it is, box stock. So we're gonna put it to the test. Now some people are running like 20, 15, 10, and I'm like, wow, that seems like a lot. I think I've even heard of people running it like 30. But it depends on your track, your temperature, your driving style. A lot of stuff I'm finding out about racing. There's a lot of it that comes down to your particular driving style. And even the difference between the pillow balls and the C-hubs, the preference comes down to your driving style, how you want it to go through the corners. And whatnot. Boom. Front diff. Probably barely still see it. I see on there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but there's a 5 right there. Somewhere. Anyways. Make sure. Yeah, that one's good too. So that was the rear. Now this here 10K will be the front. If I can keep everything on the table. Man, I see some of the crashes these guys have out on the track. Or even when they do. There's a couple times I've had head-on collisions because somebody turns around and goes the other way before they start the race. And the technos are usually not the ones that break. Very durable. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I'm just using this as equal pressure to push down on that. Drop it in place and spin it till it fits. Now, being this one is the front, says, yep, 10K in the front. I just got to remember whenever I'm actually building the rest of it. A little bit to get us started. Yeah, I have wanted one of these kits, whether it be this truck or just a truck in general, for at least a decade. I mean, for freaking ever. You know, it's not the same buying a used kit. But I've wanted this particular model ever since it came out. You can start to just with the plastic cut. You're welcome, Rolf. Thank you, brother. What engine in there? Nothing's in it at the moment, but it's gonna get the block engine that's in the other truggy. Either that, or I may switch it up and put the block engine in here, or the 83 in here, and put the block in the buggy. Probably keep it as is, and just run the block in this though. I mean, they're damn near the same freaking engine. Block's got a little more wear and tear on it, but it's still in really good shape. Screams around the track. Probably more than likely just keep it as is. And then coming up in the near future, the Mugen will get its new power plant. I can't tell you now, or it won't be called a secret. And more likely the Mugen will just be a runner. Sits on the shelf looking pretty. I don't know why I got that covered already. But I got a couple things planned for it. And nothing against Mugen. I mean, I'm sure those 8Rs are pretty tough, which I hear they break, they all break the same stuff. The A-arms and the dog bones. Doesn't really matter what brand it is. Only difference is how much or, how often are they going to break. But the fact that my Mugen's a little older, it hoping to have better luck with this one anyways. Watching people at the track, I mean, these things are tanks. Of course, all big truggies are more prone to breaking because they're bigger, heavier, longer. So I know it's inevitable. Something's going to break somewhere. But hoping to have a little better luck with this. I've ran 2 races with the Mugen and broke 2 major components. A dog bone and A-arm and, well, shock eyelet all at the same time. Yeah, covered in grease. Everything gets covered in grease. What's up, Paige? How you doing, brother? $22 viewers and 14 likes. Let's even that out. I get it, I'm old and forgetful too. Yeah, I think I was telling you guys last week about the guy that I always race with in the novice. He always has some sort of catastrophic failure. He didn't really break anything, but his setup was so out of whack that he couldn't keep it on the track, just kept bouncing all over the place. So another one he didn't finish. But kind of feel bad for him, but at the same time it's like, get your setup right, brother. One of these days we'll get to race. All right, so 10K, 5K. So now, we got 10 in the front, 10 in the center, 5 in the rear. Diffs are done. Let's see what's next. So now let's see, that was all of bag B on that one page. So now we got bag C, center diff, basically the whole center diff. So let's dig out. D-bag. A lot of D-bags out there. I don't know about you guys, but I'm having a blast. I love building stuff, especially things that are as cool as this. Add to the pile of trash. All right. I'm gonna have to go through and do some trimming on these as well. Oh, some of it breaks off pretty easy. I don't know if one way's better over the other, but ouch. I know people that pay people to do this, and I'm like, why? So much fun. I don't want to get it. All right, I'll be right back. Another great use for these body scissors. You can get it nice and flush with a lot of these little cut areas. Some of it's going to take a razor blade though. Some of these pieces are kind of sharp, so be careful. And sometimes I get close and sometimes I don't. It's all plastic, so it doesn't really mess them up unless you're trying to like force it and start bending them out of shape. Just gotta be careful. That's pretty much everything. I wonder if they did like Traxxas and used asbestos for the brake pads. Got some pretty nice looking brake pads. Alright. Step one. I'm going to screw these little thingies to the bottom of these little thingies. So it goes down here. Let's see. And this goes to the outside. So the bearing sits inside in that little groove. There's like a little groove in there. If I zoom in just a little bit. It's like it takes some zooming, there we go, to get the close-up shots. Joey, are you sorry? See what's up, brother? I will see myself out. He just got here. I didn't realize at first that was rink sand. He'll see himself out. So these little tiny short screws. Itty bitty teeny thing. Like, there's like a still like a little bit of an edge in here. Don't be afraid to get in there and use a little bit of razor blade action on it. If you don't get these little edges all the way down, you're gonna sure to have some problems with something binding. You guys can't even see what the hell I'm doing. This rope coming to John's building a chuggy, not a buggy. And I'm bidding on a Savage. What's up? The rest of yesterday, nothing crazy. The BL2S system managed to surprise me. My girlfriend got it for me yesterday on my birthday. Hell yeah. That's a hell of a woman, yeah. Well, my lady took care of me. She boxed up the old Savage 21 and got it to the mailbox for me. I think it weighed like 27 pounds and cost $100 to ship. The fact that I couldn't break it down and get it in a smaller box, that's what made it so expensive. Because I've shipped Savages for like $35 because you can take the wheels off and tuck everything in a small box and make it work. Can't do that to something sealed up. Somebody keeps trying to talk to me. Nothing important so far. All right. Let's see here. Step one. Oh, already did one side. Now I gotta do the other. And this goes towards the outside. Little tiny screws are so hard to just put in there and then get started. Sending the Revo to Arizona. Oh, is that where the winner? I didn't even see who the winner was. I started watching it, and I got a phone call, never got to go back to it. So hoping I make a little on the shipping. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping there was a little bit in there for it, but you know, I still got plenty from the original offer, so I'm not gonna complain. I gave the old lady a few bucks for her troubles. So now, I think that one's marked R for rear. Observe orientation of this part, the rear front markings. So this F, but the brake assembly faces this way. So we got 2 brake pads. Oop. 2 springs. 2 funny looking screws. All right. So F out. F out, sucker. Funny shaped brake pad. You know what? It's going to be easier doing it like this, in my opinion. So put the 2 pieces together. Try and squeeze the spring in here without losing the damn thing. If you do one side at a time, it's probably a little bit easier. There. Got the bolt through it, so I don't have to worry about losing it. Once I get the bolt in this side. Yeah, like when I get them, I don't usually break them down this far unless they truly need it or needs to be replaced. I always hate this part. Such a pain in the ass. All right. Thread that till the threads bottom out. Make 2 of these. Yeah, make 2 of these assemblies. All right, just make sure I catch all the noots. Make sure your screws in there straight. I like how they show part numbers for everything in 5368. Yeah, these are all separate pieces. So if you just need the springs, you can buy just the springs. You don't have to buy a whole assembly. I hate when you got to buy the whole assembly. Man, it didn't look like the threads were that damn long, but apparently they are. Okay, finally got tight. Pull the brake pads down just to make sure that the threads are bottomed out in there, which I don't know if you guys can see. Kind of, sort of. So being that the screw is shaped like that, you can tell just by looking in there if it's bottomed out. All right, there's one set. Sucks when you gotta do the worst job twice. Again, we'll do this one side at a time. Oh, good, I did it right. Yeah, make sure you got the curve right. The curve's got to go with the bearing housing. Don't believe me, it's right here. All right. I'm sure these springs are pretty easy to lose, so be careful. Once you get your screw in, don't let it come out. Okay. Flip it this way, flip it this way. Yeah, this part is really a pain in the ass. If you've never done this before, you ain't missing out on anything, because it is not fun. Fingers start to cramp up before you get it done. But we'll get through this. We'll be on to bigger, better things. I'm sure some people do it, but not me. Don't skip the stuff you don't want to do to get the other stuff first. Follow the directions. As I say at work, directions are overrated. You still got to follow them. And I only say that because a lot of people don't like to follow them. All right. So I'll show you what I was talking about, where you can see that. So you can see the threads, the thinner part. And then when it's threaded in all the way, you can tell because you can't see the threads anymore. I love spring-loaded brake pads. Brake assemblies, whatever you want to call it. Now, you can't see that the thin part of the shaft where the screw is, or the threads, whatever. Alright, so we got both of those. Next step, now we gotta build that goofy looking little bastard. It says, note, align levers as shown here. Okay. Alright, so now take this, and it looks like we put one in there, and then both of them, they got these little cams on them. They're both gonna face that direction. JW's in the house. JP, what's up? How you guys doing? Duca, what is going on, my friend? Just wake up middle of the night and can't sleep again. Well, that's what we're here for. Help those who can't sleep. What is going on? Where are you from, brother? I know you're over there across the pond somewhere, but what country are you from? Directions are for when you can't figure it out. Yeah. Okay. How does that hold it in there? Thread locker. It just shows a grub screw going in the end of that, but how does it keep it? I guess it's not supposed to keep it in there at that point. Let's try this side first. This is why we look at the directions, so at least get an idea of how bad we're doing. So this pin, well, that's not right. Here, so it looks like they're putting it in from the outside, but over here, because the cams are going to be facing. Looking at this picture. Let's try something. I got these on the right side. Nope. Long one. So the long one goes through the one that sets up higher. And again, the cams go, well, cams face towards this closed off section. And then the front side goes over here. So it should go like this. Because when it says front this way, it has it sitting. Yeah, this goes on the rear side. All right, so we've got that right. I see it. I mean, yeah, for the most part, it's pretty much common sense. You can see which way it should go. I get it. Yeah, and it shows that grub screw going down in there because you're going to thread it all the way down from the top to pinch in that the brake arm. Whatever you want to call it. So there's that, and then this side. Again, the cam goes that direction. Ooh, got my first piece attaching to the chassis here pretty soon. Good luck with the brakes, man. I spent 3 hours doing mine, and I don't think they're right yet. Well, don't you worry, I'll figure it out. Jukas from Finland. Well, hello, Finland. down here in beautiful, mostly hot Phoenix, Arizona. The build's coming along, and Pimp says he's almost done. Not quite, but it just says when you bolt the top down. Oh, that holds them in there? Bolt to the middle. Yep. Yep. The boys is back. Let's see, make sure I'm not missing anybody here. Again, if I've missed you, what's up? Anywho. Alright, so now we gotta run these little tiny grubs. Let's see. I was gonna say if the seal's not broke, we'd save it, but the seal one's broke, so we're gonna use it. Because like I said in the beginning, we're gonna use everything they provide and do a box setup and just straight up techno stuff and see how we do this weekend. Okay, so the one from the bottom. Damn it, am I going to be able to get this in here now? No. So that's why directions are important. There we go. I did get it though. But it shows the loops facing each other. I don't see anything talking about the where the exact placement, but roughly kind of sort of in the center there. You want that loop facing straight up. That's a long way to go down for that screw. It's got to go all the way down to that, whatever you call that part. There we go. It's Loctited in there. And the one thing I haven't done that I probably should is clean some of these threads off. I always forget to do that. I say always, I've never built a kit, but just new screws in general. This stuff's like thick gel too. Alright, so this one is gonna go in here. I'll have to make some adjustments on that later on, but that is what the book shows. Yeah, and the way the springs push the brakes open, they don't set straight. But that's okay. Okay, next. Fancy. So now we get to take our center diff, spins freely, got some 10K in it. And I'm gonna go ahead and mark on here 10K just so I know I can remember what oil or silicone, whatever, that I'm running in there. Hopefully it's still visible later on. Alright, scroll the way down and then back off half a turn just to ensure the diff spins freely. See, and I didn't have the manual for the other one, but like when I received my buggy, it was binding up on me, and you let off the brakes, the wheels kind of tighten up, and it would just nosedive like hard. And I loosened those up, just figured it out on my own and loosened it up. But that's awesome that it actually tells you here. Screw all the way down, then back off half a turn to ensure the diff spins freely. At least they're giving you that kind of info. Okay, and the spur goes towards the rear, if I'm not mistaken. So that goes towards the front. So the rear side gets the extreme offset, which would be this guy. So there's the rear, front, and the diff. Spur goes towards the rear. Awesome. Let's see. The little pieces that we screwed on here earlier are the brake pad guide, or whatever you want to call it. So it needs to be something like that. Same thing on this side. I don't feel like it actually locks in there though. And then we got R for rear, F for front. No. All right. Get on there. We'll make sure this is locked in nice and straight before we start running screws in and get things at an angle and strip things out and bind. All right, so that should all be good. Get them started with the old hand driver. I bet if I would have looked in the manual of that buggy, it would have said the same thing there, to back those out half a turn. But I just miraculously figured it out on my own. Just nice to see something that actually tells me I did it right. Because I thought maybe, it was just something to do with that buggy. Wasn't for sure if I was supposed to do it, but now it looks like I am. What's up, big boys? Been a member for 2 months now. Yes, sir. Thank you much, my brother. Try springs on my Jado. Oh, on the brakes. Yeah, I had one Jado, worked on it for a little while, and I ended up flipping the brake deal around, and then I traded it to Lotus. What size clutch belt are you gonna run, and what size do you run on the buggy? 13s. 13s come with them, and even on that big track, like I asked the drivers there and the owner, Tony Schumacher, and everybody says 13. You know, I thought for sure when I first went there, as big as it was, that you would run a bigger clutch, but nope. And it seems to get around just fine. All right. Go ahead and crank it all the way down tight, and I'll show you guys the binding. But we'll get it nice and tight to make sure it's all seated properly. Pull it all together. Oh, the battery's getting low on my computer. I'm about to lose my reading screen. Computer battery don't last very long. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad with this one, but it's like when I'd lock up the brakes and then I would let off the brakes, and I don't know if you guys can really see, but so I just pretend the brakes are on, you know, doesn't want to spin, and then without hand pushing them, see how it's still catching and binding? So I was experiencing that. I thought I'd done something wrong. Alright, so we're locked up, we let off of it, now it spins freely. So just gotta back it off half a turn. But that's cool that the manual actually says it. Crisis averted. How long is straightaway on that track? Oh man, it goes all the way across that front. From one end of it to the other, and it's pretty long. I'd say 80 to 100 feet. Maybe 60-ish, 75. I've never truly walked it out, but I mean, it's a long ways. And they got a couple of jumps in the middle of it, like two of them. So you have to let off at those, you know, when you hit those jumps anyways, or you just rotate back. Oh, should have got the chassis when I was up. So, I mean, you really don't get necessarily up to, I mean, you get up to full speed, but, you know, you're not like at full speed for, you know, 10 seconds and like stuck there. You know what I mean? Like, it, yeah, you just, ooh, about to drop the chassis. You just don't need anything bigger than a 13. Yeah, when he first told me that when I got there, I was like, what, really? All right, my paper towel wants to blow away. So we're going to let it. Man, that's so pretty. I love brand new chassis. I think I looked these up, and cheapest one I saw was like 80 or 90, and I even seen them for like 120. But actually, I don't know what all that is. Let me get another paper towel. There, we'll do that. So, front's got the beveled front end, engine sits here, transmission sits here. One thing I like about Techno is there's little holes and little teats, and I'm sure there's multiple brands that do it. Another thing I like about building them brand new like this, and the screws come in the bag, like with each part. It's one thing I heard that like some of them, I think they said like X-ray, you'll have a bag of all the bearings, or bags of all the screws, maybe all the same size and bags together, but then you got to like find the right screw for the part that you're messing with. And all the parts come with the whole assembly. Like this whole transmission assembly was all in one bag. So I find that to be pretty neat. It's helpful. And then at the same time, these, you can't see it in the camera, but all these screws here, these are actual size. So you can always lay it on there and get an idea. Damn it, get in the hole. The hole's tight. Tight like a tiger. There it is. Free spinning. Oh, free willy. So as the throttle goes in, no. Throttle pulls open, pushes that way. Brakes are free. As it turns that way and pulls the brakes. So we know it's all in there correct. It's all seated properly. Nothing's loose. So there it is. Should be everything for the transmission. It even gives you a note, a line, brake disc, and guides. Oh, huh. It's like here, it's like they're telling you to screw the bottom down and then set it in there. Probably a lot easier, but I didn't do all that. Maybe I should have. Anyways, but no, great illustration in here. Ooh, getting into the good stuff now. So I'm going to set this chassis out of the way. And now, bag D. Oh, come on. There we go. D bag. Front gearbox overview. So now, here's the old D bag. Leo, the last night guy, what is up? Ever thought about mounting the body on backwards to mess with other racers? I'm sure that'd be funny, but no, not really. I don't know how to say that. Is it supposed to be like average guts? The average guts? something. I got two of those nice engines. You talking about the block engine or the? I haven't really put an engine out. I'm assuming you're talking about the block. You think you could pick up a lot of ground with the 14? So maybe, but the kind of power and torque you need coming out of the corners, I think by the time you get there, you're ready to hit the brakes. And I would say using the 13 tooth with, just come screaming out of the corner, and you're only going to get up to full speed in those front straightaways. I would say probably not. I mean, it's a good thought, good question, but I just don't personally think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Because like I said, by the time you get there, the other people are already to the next turn because they pulled out of the corner so fast with that torque. Okay, so we don't have to cut any pieces out. Nice. Sometimes you got to cut little pieces out of those. Well, Techno said, hold my beer. Alright, so shims, screws. That's another thing I noticed about the 2.0. Come with these little shims. Oh, there it is. Little shims that goes on the pin. Was it the pin gear? Ring? Pin and ring? I don't know if I'm saying that or not. Saying that right or not. Anyways, I'm just going to shut up. Let's see. This is the rear gearbox, so rear shock tower. So this is, for those of you that haven't messed with or seen Techno stuff, the new 2.2 comes with no cross brace. The buggies have it, and then the truggies have a little more of an extreme version, but same thing. And it's to give it flex. So like one side can flex to the front while the other to the back, and it doesn't have that stiffener to stop that flex. If that makes sense, it helps with the flex of everything to get through the corners and for better handling, is what they say. So like I said, each D-bag, come with a bag of every single piece of everything. Again, another awesome feature with Techno. So, and these give like an overall, I'm actually on the other page, but these give an overall look, like an exploded diagram of all of it, and then they give you step by step, just like Legos. That's funny, like, never actually sat here and built the kit based off, solely off the book. Always just used it as reference as I'm going through. But literally, this is just like Lego. It's like Techno looked at Lego and figured out, hey, they're giving you great directions on this. They give you an overall view of what it's supposed to look like when it's done, all the pieces, and then give you step by step in each little segment. But let's see, so we got... it goes on the outside, I see. And then the pin goes through. And then this little guy goes here. And then get the old Loctite out. I just probably use like some kind of cleaner, but if all my screws come out, we'll realize we did it wrong. And it's not a bad Loctite. It's more like a gooey gel than that runny cheap stuff that I get from Walmart. Okay, and then it doesn't give any measurements how it's actually supposed to sit. So we'll pretend like one, we know what we're doing. And two, like it's just gonna fit like it's supposed to. All right. Step 2. Of course, gonna put some grease. Now, the one thing that I'm not gonna use that black grease on is these, like the diff gear to the ring gear to the pin gear. 1222 may not be required. Check fitment and add if needed. Okay, so basically saying this is the rear. No, this is the front. Had to make sure it said 10 on it. It feels pretty tight. I don't hear any clinking. So, like I got no movement side to side, so I'm gonna save those shims, and then as this wears in, I will throw the shims in. And since we can get to it from the bottom, we'll put this on before we grease the gears. Okay, so which ones? 1525. 6mm, or no, 14 and 20. The really long ones would be the 20s. Here's the 14s. Sometimes you have to slow down a little bit to speed up. Yes. Yep. Fast acceleration is more important than top speed. Yep. That's why people don't use big clutch pedals. Exactly. And like I said, when I went and asked them, found out, that's pretty much how they do it. So yes, that's a good way to put it, Juka. Thanks for, clarifying that. The torque and the power of the takeoff and getting up to speed is more important than the top speed. Well put. Leo. You thought about putting in a Traxxas controller that has stability control? No. Takes the fun out of it. I've actually started getting pretty good at sliding the corners and controlling my car through the corners instead of like almost stopping so much. Like I'm gonna start getting some more video here coming up in the near future. Show you guys how much better that I'm actually doing, but no, like that stability control, that to me that would just take the fun out of it. And I don't even know if it's legal in actual racing. From what I've heard, the only time that's actually legal is when you're doing drifting. I don't know for sure though. I'm just saying, but no, I wouldn't be something I'd want to do. All right. So now we will get our white lithium. You guys see what I'm doing? Probably not. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this in the camera. Again, this is the front, so it is running 10K. It's nice and smooth, but you can feel the stiffness of it. And then, yeah, if it isn't enough, we will step it up to, I think I have 15. And then we'll go 10, 15, and like I had 7 in the Mugen, and I wonder if that's why I was a little squirrely. At the same time, my camber wasn't set properly because the arms weren't proper. But there we go. Nicely greased. Next step, they show you putting all that together, but I want to put this bottom piece on. 1, so I don't forget, and 2, hopefully won't get as much grease all over the place. Yeah, on the 2.0, this is bottom piece is completely closed. But on here, it is open. Now I've already put that 2.0 mostly together, so I don't really have like pieces in hand that I could compare it to. But also you got to remember, this is 2 millimeters lower. I'm thinking like with like the gearing inside the bulkhead, and maybe it's just the way the bulkhead sits in the chassis or whatever, but it's 2 millimeters lower than its predecessors and pretty much the way they set up all other buggies and truggies. And the 2.2 buggy and truggy are pretty much exactly the same in all the upgrades. As far as I know, the only differences are like just the different size of things. And the shock tower, not quite as like open. Like in the buggy, it's like really tall and split, and these are kind of widened out and split. So it does look a little bit different, but pretty much, they are the same deal. All right. And like I said, now I got some extra shims. So, next step, they show multiple things here. So I wonder, will this fit? Nope. There's only 4. Yeah, so I got this. It goes with the truggy. So I can fit the F2 J Concepts body on the 2.0. Little carbon fiber piece that bolts onto the front, and then you could put a single mount on it, but it does not work for the 2.2. So looks like we're just going to have to run the stock, which is fine. And it doesn't look like it has a front and back. It looks the same on both sides. Let's see. Note, shock tower position is second from outside on the tower, shown in orange. Okay, so all that shows is the positions. All right. Can't remember the brand, but they got AF1 because of gyros and ESCs years ago. Wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, as far as I know, gyros and racing are no. But like I said, that just takes the fun out of it. It'd be fun, you know. It'd be a fun concept, but just for shits and giggles. But I wouldn't want to try to go win a race with it or nothing. That's just me. Man, it seems like it's gonna be awful close. There we go, just trying to get it straight up and down so they're not right on top of each other. Oh, I'm totally in the wrong spot. What a dumbass. I go down here. You stupid. Then I was following the directions. Wrong. Didn't hurt anything though. We was just practicing. Guess I better make sure I'm using the right screws. 1529 is the 20 millimeter. So yes, I am using the right screws. At least I'm doing part of it right. Thought it looked funny. Let's see, and this is we are on the front. So this needs to go towards the gearbox, but shows these going in front. I don't think it really matters, but all right. Here's how we're going to do this. We're going to put a drop of Loctite in here. Here's the screw for it. And it says a second from the outside. And these need to go towards the front. I wonder if these are the same as the buggy. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so put that straight up and down. So my 5 millimeter fits on these, but if it's like the buggy, it won't fit the rear. Now this is one of the main ones that always comes loose. So you want it Loctite really well, and then you want it tight. Otherwise, you'll be driving around the track missing a shock and a screw. Well, you won't be missing a shock, but it'll be flopping in the wind. I've lost one of them and replaced it, and I check it religiously And so far I have not lost a second one. But I'm sure that day will come. Come on, get in there. Front shock tower with the standoffs. Northeast, what's up, brother? Placed first again. My years at the clay oval seem to help. Still only 5 of us trying. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, I got 6 in open buggy and took another first in the novice class with my truggy. But congratulations, bro. Nope, wrong way. Shocks go towards the outside of the car and the body mounts go toward the inside. And again, I love the modern buggies, truggies, whatever, because you take out these 2 screws and you take out the 2 bottom screws and this thing just pops right out for easy diff service. JP, oh good, you are still there. I was glad to see you not being as scared of setting gear mesh and pulling out the engine to work on the engine instead of taking 80% of the truck apart so you didn't have to deal with the gear mesh. It drives me nuts when people do that. Other than the fact that they're just scared because they can't set it, I don't get it. But awesome job on that live. I was like, oh cool, somebody's not afraid of gear mesh. Look at you go. All right, so that is the full front end. So now we got the E-bag for the rear. Yes, sir, Jay. It was refreshing seeing somebody do it right instead of stripping and taking out a bunch of stupid screws that didn't need to be just to get to the gear mesh. I don't get it. If you do things the right way, it works. And it's way faster to set the mesh. I know. Like, totally. Like, I don't get the concept behind it. I guess you can, helps to make it a longer show or whatever, but, like, just set the gear mesh. All right, where are you at? Oh, there it is. It's hiding a little tiny shim that goes there. And then we will get the grub screw. Yeah, if I wasn't trying to get this ready for the rest next weekend, I would take my time with this and just enjoy it. Either way, it's fun, but you know what I mean. I'm not going to rush it by any means, but I don't really have the time to just enjoy the view. Damn, I gotta get my drink. I'll be right back. Marty, we are back. Straight after you. He is still hard to turn over. Right? Back to the action. Where are we at? Let's see. So we got that on. The bearings, the pin, yada yada. Now it's time. So front. No, we're in the rear. Make sure it says 5, which it should. Yeah, it's just not real visible in this light. Spins nice and freely. Yeah, see with this one I can feel a hair of play. I couldn't feel any in the front. your shim. Hopefully you guys can see that. Shim is right here up against the bearing. Get in there. Oh, come on, slide in there. Oh, I missed. No play. Oh, get in there. All right, the shim is in. It's good. It's good. Just have to remember we don't have any shims in the front, so I'm gonna have to after I hit the track on Friday before I go back on Saturday, I'll probably check both the diffs just for one to make sure that the shimming is good, and then two, we will make sure that the oil that we chose was working properly. As long as it feels good, I'm going to leave it alone, but if it just feels like it's diffing out and not doing what I want, we will add a little weight, that is. I ended up buying a Savage parts lot. Was able to get an aluminum shock to replace the one plastic. Hell yeah, that's awesome. When you do that a couple times at a reasonable price, you got enough parts to build 2 or 3 of them. You know. I like lots. A lot of times you can get some extra goodies in them. Drive shaft. Nice and lubed. Let's see. Wrong driver. Maybe I should have done that a long time ago. Okay. There's the rear shock tower. It's got a lot more holes in it than the front. A little comparison. It looks a little bit bigger than the front. I don't know how you guys can see that, but a little more cut out. So the next step on this, what are the green lines for? Nice. I didn't realize that these lines were color. So like these are blue, these are green. Just shows all the, so these are the nuts and the screws that hold the wing mount on. Huh. That is cool. Oh, and then down here shows you your different wing heights. Got 12 millimeter stock, 7 millimeter, and 0 millimeter. We're gonna run the 12, raise it up high. Gives a lot of downforce. Again, I don't know if it's the best spot to be, but we're gonna set everything in stock, and we are going to go from there. It says no, wing mount height is now adjustable by moving it up or down on the tower. Note stock position is plus 12. Yeah, plus 12 millimeters. Stock shock position is second from the inside. Okay. Shown in orange. Let's see. Okay, so that was talking about the shims. Apply a small amount of black grease to the ring gear teeth. I used white. Alright. So it doesn't look like there's a front or back, so you just basically pick one. Body mounts. I think. Yeah, it has to be. How do I get you on there? There we go. Get in your hole. Same thing on this side. And then 1529. So yes, these are still the longer 20 mil. Oh, here they are. Already got them out. Who's got a hot body? Yes, Juka. A very detailed manual. like I've been saying the whole show, for those of you that didn't hear it, a lot like a Lego set. They show you exploded diagram of the entire bag. Then they show you step-by-step process of building it up. And then they show you a finished product. And give you all the adjustments. So yes, very detailed. Love the way Techno sets it up. This is my first true build other than tearing shit down and then putting it back together. So just as far as the details, the bag layout, yeah, I mean, it's perfect. I don't just say that because I'm a Techno homer. I mean, I'm being serious about it. It's real easy to build. So we are in the top hole. Okay, I'm trying to do this where you guys can see, but at the same time, I needed 3 hands and I only have 2. Can you guys see what I'm doing here? Yeah, I think you can. So the only problem that Techno has, and I mean, I know about it and I still am going to go with Techno, because really it's not one of the worst problems. But even though these are nylon, nylock, whatever, locking nuts, if you don't Loctite them, any and all, they will come out. It does not matter what they are. Anything metal on a Techno, I Loctite it. Sometimes I probably put, oh damn it, I probably put a little extra in there, make it a little too much, but never had a problem getting stuff out. I have a problem keeping it on. Very durable, but not so great at keeping nuts in place. Even the nylon locking nuts. Which is just weird because usually a nylon locking nut, I mean, it's got that name for a reason. But I knew that even going into purchasing that buggy. It is not a deal breaker for me, so to speak. Because if I can Loctite everything in and it still handles and is durable, I'll count that as a win. Usually new like nylock nuts work well, but after unscrew several times. Yeah, and I mean that's more than likely the problem, but I'm not going to take any chances. But yeah, good point, Juka. But I mean, and that's like a known issue with Techno. But again, if it ain't breaking and it's handling good, Is it really that big of an issue? In my book, no. I'll take it. See these back here, second from the bottom. I wish they had a better way of locking these. It looks like just like the buggy these. Yeah, they make it too narrow with that lip to actually get the wrench in there to do any good. Which sucks because that helps you get it really, really good and tight. But to be honest, with it all locked down and you go cranking on it, nothing moves anyways, so. Oh, you flipping moron. I knew they didn't go in that way. Just be on the safe side. We'll add another little dab. I just looked at it before I started putting it on. I was telling myself, shock studs go towards the wing. Alright, now it's correct. And then now, we must screw it to the diff. That's a really easy build. Seems to be going by pretty fast in my book. Sure, we get into some of the small detail of things. It'll slow down, but like the linkages and the steering setup, that stuff's always tedious. Oh, come on. Damn it. Like there's no magnet on this thing. It's not magnetized, but it keeps pulling the screws out as if it is. Grizzly, what's up, brother? Double sure with threadlock. Yes, sir. Can't go wrong with old double. Double sure. Alright. So one thing we had left over was one shim, which I think eventually we'll end up using. Alright, bag F. So, bag F is a particularly long bag. And it is the rear end assembly. So that's why it's so long. We got the, man, them things are massive. And I mean, I don't have huge hands, but I don't have small hands either. Just big old beefy arms. I think that one was for the grease. And that one's for the Loctite. All right. We're almost through the first big bag. We still got like 2 bags left in the first big bag. That's a lot of pills. So the first thing it tells us to do okay, so I don't know how many of you guys have looked into techno, but sway bar bushings, and I think they call it something like a dead man's bushing or something weird like that. But they're just bushings. I guess the 2.0 is on bearings, and this is on bushings. Now there's a lot of option here for sway bars. It only gives us one set, and this is the 2.5 millimeter. Let's see, the note says sway bar bushings allow you to accurately set the amount of deadband. That's what it is. It's a deadband setup. Your sway bars have, in general, more deadband, larger diameter bushing, work better on rough tracks, and less deadband, smaller diameter bushings work better on smooth tracks. Typically, you'll want the bushing diameter to be 0.3 millimeter or 0.6 millimeter larger than the sway bar diameter. So let's see what it say. Larger diameter bushing works better on tracks with less traction. So there's a 3.0, which this is 2.5, and these are 3.0. That puts it at a 0.5. Looks like that's our option anyways. What are these? I don't know. But anyways, so this here's for the rear end. Which I don't know why they have you put these things on sorry. This should come later. Keep it out of the way. So it looks like okay, so fits in the hole nice and snug. It's a 3mm hole and a 2.5mm millimeter bar. Okay, so I have to put this on first. Okay, so you run the bar through. It won't fit through the little holes with all these bends. So you run it through, and then you put your deadband bushing in there. So there's that. And then is that this piece? I think it is. All right, and then these little plastic guides go on there. Lee Harris, what's up? Take it easy, mods. Appreciate you. Have a good night, brother. Oh, and JP's out too. Good night, brother. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, we'll be off here in just a couple of minutes. It's going on 9 o'clock anyways. This is going to take a little bit of tinkering with and getting it lined up, so. I think we made pretty good progress. We got the front and rear bulkhead shock tower assembly all together. The center diff is on the chassis, bolted in. You guys have been hitting that like button like champs. Appreciate it. Oh, if anybody has forgotten, please do so now. Appreciate it very much. But yeah, we're gonna come back tomorrow and we're gonna hit it hard. Should be done for this weekend. It's going pretty smooth. I think we'll make it with no problem. But like I said, we're gonna keep plugging away at it and give it the old box stock and see what we get. Like I said, man, all the fast guys are gonna be dropping down to the to the sportsman level because it's only pro and sportsman. So I'll be in there with all the fast guys. Hopefully I can make it to the C main, maybe B. B's a good goal to have. But I'd be happy just getting up into the C, especially if it's a lot of people. But anyways, it was fun. Thank you guys very much for joining in. I appreciate it, and we will get back at it tomorrow evening. So if you're not busy, come check us out. 7 o'clock Central Time, and we'll hit it again. So you guys have yourselves a good night. Take care. Much love and peace.